Friday, March 22nd, 2024, and I'm going to the gymnasium. I don't know why I have these just sudden random urges to just start off the day and just start speaking in what might consider an accent. And again, too, maybe, I don't know what this stems from. I washed my car a couple days ago, and this is the first rain that I've experienced in a while. And I remember I used this Rain-X spray that I had laying around in my garage on my windshield and on my windows. And, not gonna lie, it kind of sucks. Like, maybe the bottle was too old. Like, the water, maybe I need to replace my wipers? But I feel like my wipers should not be replaced already, though. Oh, that's a lot of cardboard. Oh, it's recycling day. It's recycle pickup day. Did I set out all my trash for... I'm already running late. I was supposed to be at the gym by 11:30. And then all of a sudden, around like 11:50, right I was about to leave, I had to poop. So now here I am. So, a little apology, precursor to, the good sir, Mr. Slink, Mr. Alex, because I was supposed to be at the gym by 11:30, and here I am leaving at 11:30, because your boy was just like, I gotta poop. But that is one thing I will never, ever play, I don't need to go right now game, because if I'm going to the gym and I'm exerting some amount of force, right, I am not gonna go if I have any urge at all to even ever go poop, because the last thing I ever want in life is the guy that pooped himself at the gym. Actually, maybe that Rain-X thing did work. I don't have my wipers on, and the water is just like slowly flying off my windshield when I'm driving. That's actually kind of cool. But I don't really like the look of it, because it doesn't seem to, like, only bigger droplets of water are kind of flying off, and all these tiny ones are just kind of just sticking there menacingly. But once again today, we did a back yesterday, and back is indeed pretty sore at the moment. Chest, I will say that was a little bit interesting. Is what day did I do chest? Was it on Tuesday? I think I did chest on Tuesday. And it's not super sore right now, but it's been sore for a couple days, which I feel like before my chest would only be sore for like a maximum of maybe about 2 days. But today, coming on to day 3 from Wednesday, Thursday, and today being Friday, I'm a bit surprised by that, where I can't tell if my workouts are better to some extent because I'm sore for longer, or is that actually worse because I'm not able to recover fast enough now, because maybe of the volume, maybe of going to failure to have reset. I don't know. And these are always this thing that I always got to think about, where I'm just like, what do I got to tinker with to ensure that I have maximum muscular hypertrophy stimulated in every single workout? And I guess that is the magical, question that everybody's asking for, and all the magical answers that are floating around the internet that are sometimes not always accurate. But I will say this. I was actually thinking about it, where I realize at times I am very egotistical and I'm very stubborn, because I love the satisfaction of having figured something out on my own. Does that mean I gotta go through the entirety of my life making sure that I, never get help from somebody else and have to figure out something all on my own? No. But it is such a greater satisfaction for me personally, and since, I am the one that's in control of my own life, why wouldn't I do things that give me more satisfaction, right? And why am I going on this entire rant? Could I potentially hire a personal trainer? Could I, ask for online coaching? Could I pay somebody to give me guidance and try to, actually track stuff for me? Yes, that could be a thing. Or I could suffer on my own. I could experiment on my own, and then also figure out what works for me on my own. Does that mean I might have more, errors? I might have periods of time where I was doing the wrong thing for several months. Yes, that might occur. It might not be the most optimal, might not be the most, efficient use of my time. But when I do figure it out, when I do have that aha moment one day where I go, you know what? This is what's working for me. This is actually working. I'm going to get a sense of satisfaction that I just feel like, to some extent, you can't describe, because it's like almost like a feeling of nirvana. Sorry, every time I think of the word nirvana now, I think of the band. But then when I think of the band, I just think about the Batman, you know, the one with Robert Pattinson in it. And then I think of how they did the something's in the way. But then just one day I saw this YouTube video, which was, I'm guessing it was probably some sort of short-based media before it became a YouTube video, of some guy doing his own rendition of Something's in the Way, but it's a picture of SpongeBob wearing the bat, some sort of like Batman costume. And he just hears something's in my, like that. I feel like a lot of, maybe not a lot, maybe I'm just weird. Maybe I need to double check, you know, what type of media I consume, but that is the type of media I consume. It's a picture of SpongeBob wearing some sort of bat costume and saying, something's in my... That's what gets me. That's what gets me chuckling along the day. That's what gets me going throughout the day, is the idea of failure, and the idea if I figure out stuff from my own failure, I'm going to be very satisfied. And this goes for a lot of games too as well, where, I mean, the first one I can think of is Elden Ring. Because Elden Ring was one of the games where I really just said, I'm going to be as stubborn as possible because I want to beat a certain boss, aka Millennia. Let's see, I gotta lock it in for this turn. Start mewing every turn that I need to lock it in. Just go. And I still remember, what was it, the other day when I streamed, I actually had to ask people what. I kept seeing videos of people going like, shh, and then like rubbing their jawline with their finger, which I had no idea what it meant. And I didn't feel like looking it up, so I just asked other people. And then I slowly figured that out while I was doing it. I was like, oh, I guess I kind of, when somebody said, what was it, mewing? I still find that so funny. That's like an actual concept now. But I do like the idea of mewing to one extent. It has made me become less of a mouth breather, because I saw one post where this guy said, what was it? He found himself snoring. And also I found out somewhat recently that I am, well, not recently, but in the last couple of years, I did find that I'm a snorer. And I want to make sure that I'm less of a snorer, because also, apparently you can get better sleep. It's funny, I go, like, you know, if I want to maximize muscle growth as well, I need to maximize my amount of sleep and maximize the amount of good sleep that I get as well. And I think I really need to start figuring out how to, you know, they did say one of the easiest things, well, I guess not the easiest, one of the most accessible things you could do to ensure you get better sleep is no devices 1 hour before you go to bed. And the reason I had to take off the easiest, because that's probably going to be the hardest for me, because, like, I'm going to be honest, I love my devices. I love my smartphone. I love my computer. All my friends are on it. And to say I can't use that 1 hour before I go to bed, maybe I'm simply just an iPad baby, and I just need to grow up and attempt to not use my phone for one singular hour of the day. But which is also getting me to think about another thing where I'm like, all right, no devices 1 hour before bed. Could I do that? I could try. And I'm thinking maybe I like give myself intervals. So before I'll be like, all right, no device for 10 minutes before I go to bed, which I know that's kind of hard to measure. So maybe I at least need to do like 20 or 15. And then maybe I'll start reading. 2023 goals was to lose weight and read. And I accomplished one of them. Oh, I just hiccuped and then burped. I forgot what movie it was. Maybe it was Grown Ups, where they call it like the burp snart or something, where you burp, fart, and sneeze. I don't know why I just thought of that right now, but it just came to my mind. Oh yeah, but Elden Ring. I really wanted to beat Millennia, because the very first time I beat her, I couldn't figure out how to actually beat her normally. So what did I have to do? I had to use my Mimic tier summons. And everybody was congratulating, hey man, good job, you beat Millennia. But then it just didn't feel that satisfying. Like, yes, I beat the boss that I was stuck on for a while. But to have to use to, in my opinion, what I thought was like a crutch that I had to find. Also, I had to, My eye was itchy and I went to go, not scratch at it, but then I have to go digging right there to get a little eye booger out. Maybe this is kind of gross the way I'm just. Maybe I'm getting grosser each video just because I'm getting more comfortable. But you know what? Everybody has eye boogers, and I don't know what the actual scientific term of it is. I just heard people call it eye boogers in elementary school. I've been calling it that ever since. All right, we are pulling up at the gym. But one thing I want to say again is I beat millennia without my mimic tier, and I'm happy. I gave myself my own restrictions, and I stood by them, and I accomplished. And could I possibly pay somebody to tell me how to be better and more efficient at the gym? Possibly. But do I want to figure it out on my own? Yes. Woo! Pull up in the parking spot, and now I rush to the gym. Today, arms. Tomorrow, I don't know. I'm also really itchy right now for some reason. All right, I'll see you in there. Woo! Oh, there you go. My arm. It's 3, I think. 4. Nice. 6. 7. 8. Good control. 9. Oh my god. That's a push. Oh. You see this foot? You have to get in line. Like that. Like that. Very centric. It's 2. 3. There you go. 4. Nice. 5. 6. 7. There you go. 2 more. 8. Nice. You got 1 more. Good push. Awesome. Way to control it on the way back. Nice. Nice.
6?
Yeah.
So make it step over.
Like here?
But he did have the biggest arms, like, being possible.
Alright.
Nice. Good control. Forward. Push. 5. 6. You got it. Good push. That was beautiful.
I'm having a little bit of a giggle right now because after our 8-hour arm workout, where, you know, it's actually, I gotta mention that real quick, where it's actually kind of funny. We kept making the joke that we were going to be performing Rich Piana's 8-hour arm workout that, you know, always gets discussed about occasionally, just because an 8-hour arm workout, or just an 8-hour workout in general, is hilarious to think about, just because of the idea of doing something for 8 hours, which, you know, would normally be like a job, right? But working out for 8 hours is insane to think about. And on top of the idea that you would work out your arms for 8 hours is even funnier to think about and fathom. But we almost did that. We've noticed that every single Friday workout that we've been doing recently has been becoming a little bit longer and longer each time, where I thought, like, at first, you know, since we're doing legs, more rest time in between, more taxing movements, more, you know, maybe I should say variety, but I feel like legs always do take a while to hit. But then today, what ended up happening was we were doing arms for we were at the gym for 3 hours, good sir. 3 hours at the gym. And now I am departing at 2:55 p.m. And I am starving, to say the least. I am famished. I am starving. I need nutrients and calories within my body now. I actually kind of wish I brought some sort of like protein shake or some sort of, you know, I guess maybe I shouldn't even say protein shake, because at this point you can just infer when I say shake, it's not like I'm going to go over and grab a milkshake from like Dairy Queen. I will be consuming a whey protein isolate shake, usually mixed in with water, mainly because it's easy and accessible. I haven't had any milk alternatives in a very long time. I haven't had any almond milk, haven't had any soy milk, haven't had any oat milk. I've just been doing water, which it's not even like a health conscious decision. I just realized the light in front of me that I'm supposed to use is out. So there's 4 stoplights in front of me, you know, one for the left turning lane, one for the right turning lane, 2 for the straightaway lanes that I'm in, and one of them I'm in right now. And the one that I'm in right now there's no light on it. What happened? What happened in this instance that the light went out in this place? But yeah, a 3 hour arm workout later, which we're actually still trying to process. How did that even ended up being 3 hours? Because how do we do arms for 3 hours? I mean, we did cardio for 30 minutes, so we can subtract, 30 minutes right there. We still have 2 hours and 30 minutes that's not accounted for fully for arms. And it's funny that we had the longest workout for arms that I personally had in a while, and it's barely recorded because it wasn't even like there were like too many people around me, or like, I got into situations where I couldn't film, but I just kind of forgot, or I just kind of was having too much fun that I didn't end up filming because like I was like almost too locked into the zone in a way where I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do my set, and then I would remember after my set's done that I forgot to record. Because it wasn't like I was preemptively thinking, oh, I don't want to film, so I'm not gonna record the set. I just forgot. It was as simple as that. But let's just say, and there was a little addition today also. Normally on my arm workouts, I do triceps, biceps, forearms. But today I did triceps, biceps, and side lateral head deltoid. Also, I mentioned a couple days ago, and by a couple days ago, yesterday, that I want to visit that Mexican grocery store that I just drove past right now. I won't be able to visit them today just because I am on a little bit of a time crunch because I have to make it the plans. So I have to get home, shower, eat, shower, clean up, send off a couple emails, and then I got to go right away off towards around like 5:30 because I have plans for today, and I do not want to be late for them. I actually have to be out of the house by 4:40, so I think I spent a little bit too long at the gym today, so I gotta rush a little bit now. But today was a sensational, a splendid, and some might even say a scrumptious day. I barely recorded my sets, but I'll give you a quick rundown. I did 6 sets of triceps, which consisted of 2 sets of single arm pushdowns, 2 sets of, we didn't know what to call these. Like, it's just, I take the cable and I do this, and I stretch out, or should I even say stretch out? But I do that for 2 sets also, and then I did overhead, but single arm at a time, tricep exercise. I really don't know what to call these. For 2 sets, for a total of 6 sets for triceps. And then for biceps, we did 3 sets of, I don't know the actual term. I think there is a real term for it. It's like you sit on a bench, but on a slight incline, and you do curls. And I did 3 sets of that, and those felt actually excruciating, but in a good way. Like, not excruciatingly painful, but like, I mean, yeah, they were painful, but not in a way like I'm like getting hurt painful, but in a way that's I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel every tendon. Well, maybe I shouldn't feel the tendons. I feel every single muscle fiber being actively worked right now, screaming out to me saying, whoa, I'm getting worked. But yeah, those actually felt insane. And then I think I also did 2 sets of hammer curls with dumbbells. And then we did 3 sets of cable side lateral raises. And then we also did 4 sets of monkeying around and finishing off with 2 sets of dilly-dallying and 1 final set of just being a silly little guy. And that all added up together. I guess that it does add up to be around 3 hours. So, but I do think that one of the longest time consumers of today was those sets of being a silly little guy, because I mean, it is a necessity. You can't live life without being just a little bit silly. And I feel like there's been like this, how should I say it, not increase, like it's like the thing where I start arguing, like, am I seeing this more because it's more like common, or am I just seeing this more because the people that are preaching it are just posting it more often? Which I know sounds a little bit confusing if I say it like that, but it's like, you will hear more negativity if you seek out people preaching negativity. It's like that, stuff like that. But what I was going to say, I feel like there's like this kind of movement recently where like people are just a little bit too serious, where you have a lack of just silliness and whimsicalness, where, there's definitely a time and a place where you have to lock it in, lock in, mog, Mew, whatever it is. And then, you got to be serious when it comes to money and your well-being in life. But it doesn't hurt to be a little silly guy occasionally, a little silly gal, girl, or non-binary pal. I took that right out of the mouths of my favorite YouTube chef, J. Kenji Lopez, where they say guys, gals, and non-binary pals. I just love how it always rhymes, and then, it's a fun little saying. It's inclusive. So I'm gonna, I don't, maybe I won't say I'm gonna start saying it now, because again, that's a little bit stolen valor, because it's like, why would I start saying it when I know somebody else says it, right? But we should just be silly little people again. Maybe we don't have to be little, but we can be silly, right? We can be whimsical. I want to find the joys in life. And I know, like, you know, the phrase, oh, was it, ignorance is bliss? And I'm going to be honest, it is kind of right. And I'm not going to live in pure ignorance so that I can only live in pure bliss. Like, I'll still be realistic enough that I will face, you know, head first and challenge, you know, things that I need to overcome and challenges I need to, you know, hurdle over. But what's so wrong with finding the joys in life occasionally here and there? Like, if I mess up in life, yes, I will find a way to resolve it. Yes, I will find a way to fix that issue that I made upon myself, but I'm still going to laugh at myself a little bit if I mess up. Like, even at the gym, like, if I'm ever doing an exercise and, like, say, like, the weight, like, slips out of my hand and I drop something and it makes a loud noise, I could be self-critical of myself and be like, oh my God, that was so stupid of me. Oh, I'm such a fool. I'm such an idiot. I could be thinking that, but also I could just laugh it off. I could just say, wow, that was a silly little moment. I'm going to find it funny and I'm going to move on. Because I feel like, you know, I guess I just answered my own question right there. There's nothing wrong with being silly and joyous and whimsical, as long as you still lock it in just enough to make sure that, you know, you're not flopping. I sound like an insane person right now talking about this, but all I really wanted to say is, even in times of difficulty, even in times of adversity, you can find comedy. You can find a little bit of joy in some of these situations. Because I'm still thinking about occasionally, like, you know, the lowest points of my life. And it's kind of messed up to think about it this way, that I might have more low points in my life moving forward. I might have more. Like, the lowest points where I can imagine right now from my past experiences, there could be moments that are even lower than that, which I hope there isn't, because honestly that doesn't sound very fun. But there could be lower moments. But one thing why I'm even saying this right now is, even in those lowest points in my life, I can look back and I can think about some instances where I just thought it was so funny that I was even in that situation, where I'll just be going like, how did I even end up here? And just the situation itself and how I ended up being there was just so outlandish that I couldn't help but just laugh and think about how silly it is that I even made it here. But you know what I did though? I found it silly, I found it funny, I almost found it pitiful at times too, but I made a plan. I thought, you know what, I don't want to be in this pitiful of a situation anymore, so I'm going to work to find a method to make sure I'm not in that situation anymore. And that's even the situation of me going with the gym, where I was really tired of living a sedentary lifestyle where I didn't move, I didn't do anything, I just stayed home in front of my computer every day, every hour of the day. And then anytime I would move my body, I would be in aching pain, and I thought, this is ridiculous. I don't want this. So I bought a bicycle. I told this story so many times, and I'm beginning to sound like one of those motivational speakers that are like, I remember when I hated myself. I was ugly, I was fat, and I hated it. But you know what I did? I bought my life lesson course for $446 per month, and you can make the lifestyle changes for yourself as well. I know I'm kind of just teasing about, like, you know, those people that, like, preach about, like, how they changed their life, but I feel like those people are a little bit too serious. I want to be serious, but I also want to be silly. I want to be SS. Maybe I shouldn't say I want to be SS, because if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure the SS was a very, very notorious and atrocious group in the Nazi party. So I am not going to be SS. I'm just going to say it out loud that I want to be silly, but I also want to be serious. I want to live a wonderful and joyous life filled with whimsicalness. I don't know why I said it like that, though, at the end. Also, when I pulled up for a quick second, I looked to the right for a little bit just to, you know, check for traffic, make sure I'm not getting T-boned. The man next to me stared directly at me, and it was kind of alarming. Now that man is sticking his hand out the window, and I don't know what they're doing right now, to be honest. I am sore. I am tired. I am hungry. That car is taking the slowest turn I think I've ever witnessed in my life. Also, still not the biggest fan of having Rain-X on my windshield at the moment, because maybe I just gotta get used to it, but having the water, like, having a somewhat, it's not even fully hydrophobic, but it's like somewhat hydrophobic windshield, where the water, if it pools up enough, does beat off, But when it's not big enough, it just kind of sticks there. And it looks even weirder because, again, since it is partially hydrophobic, it doesn't look like when normal rain hits like a normal windshield or glass pane. So I'm a little bit thrown off at the moment. I am starving. I know I said that a couple times, but I did not think I was going to be at the gym for that long. And now I'm just like recoiling at hunger now, where I am so hopeful. Maybe I should say hopeful. I'm so excited to go home and then just consume. I want to be a consumer. I want to consume. I'm thinking 2 scoops of a protein shake mixed in with water. Ooh, maybe I'll add some. I think I definitely want a banana. I'm really feeling a banana right now. A protein bar, and that'll be a nice little snack before I go grab dinner with me pals, me friends. So I think tonight on the menu is some Japanese barbecue, which is basically the same as Korean barbecue, but it just has a J in front of it, which is even funny to even call this place Japanese barbecue, considering on their menu it says they have Korean marinated ribs. So it's like, I guess I'm just going to barbecue at this point. But then if I'm going to barbecue, you still need to clarify whether it's K or J or even A, because then we have American barbecue, like, smoked brisket. There are times where I'm like thinking, could I give up some foods in life? And I don't even eat it that often, because I literally eat it with my friend Eric occasionally, like maybe like 3 times a year of American barbecue. And I really want to travel to Texas one day just to be able to taste real Texas barbecue, because there are a lot of barbecue spots in my area. Maybe not a lot. There's not that many, but some of the ones I've been to have been very mediocre, where I tasted it after having a lot of high expectations. I just go, this is all right, I guess. There's one spot kind of far away from me that I do like visiting. But smoked meats, I know they aren't the most healthiest thing for you, but man, they're delicious. They are delicious, man. They are scrumptious. Scrumptiddlyocious. Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. I think I'm slowly starting to lose my mind because of how hungry I am right now. Also, I didn't record it because I kind of forgot, and I also felt a little bit vain doing it, even though Arm Day is kind of a day for vanity, as I was told by my good old friend Alex. But I still felt a little bit shy filming a pump check, but under some good lighting, I checked out both of my arms, not just my right, not just my left. I checked both of my arms out, and they were looking kind of freaky, if I'm being honest. I was starting to see the separate divisions and areas of my arm, because like before you develop any muscle, if you just flex your arm, it just looks like a tube, right? But now I'm starting to see the lines. I'm starting to see the different muscles being more accentuated. They start sticking out a little bit more, where I can start being like, oh, that's the delt. That's the anterior pelvic momentum tricep muscle. That's the bicureoliolis. That's the bicep aorteus. And I'm like, oh, I'm actually starting to see the differences in the muscles. And it's a very fun thing, because it's my body. It's my own body that I can look at and be like, that is crazy. You guys remember the video game Crazy Taxi?